Are you thinking about quitting alcohol completely, but you're having trouble? Or maybe you have the thoughts of quitting, but you haven't quite took those first steps in making that decision a reality. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys 3 steps to quit alcohol and be alcohol free. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Jamie Dottie Garza, and it's time to ignite your sobriety. And if you're someone out there who is thinking about embarking on your sobriety journey and quitting alcohol, or if you're someone out there who has started but always can't seem to get it done and always go back to alcohol, that's completely fine. I wanted to create this video because I too was in your shoes at one point in my life. I suffered with alcoholism for about a good 15 years of my life, from about 18, maybe even a little bit earlier than that, into my early 30s. And the deepest pocket was within my 20s. I was drinking the absolute most, doing the most, and it's not a fun cycle reflecting back on that. However, I want to provide some of the tips that helped me, and upon creating this video, have been able to stay completely sober, alcohol free for 655 days. The first step I want to share is acknowledging and deciding. Sorry, that was my Roman Reigns voice. Acknowledge me. Big wrestling nerd, but I thought you guys knew that. If you don't, well, now you know. But back on track is acknowledging that alcohol has started and made a negative impact on your life. You might see this in pockets of your relationships. You might see this with work being more difficult. You might be more irritable. You might see this also with some health issues that you have developed. I know a lot of the signs were written for the wall for me, and you could click past videos of where I explain that down below in the description on the signs of alcohol that it's time to quit. But a lot of the writing was on the wall, but it took me actually taking ownership and accountability and recognizing the truth as state of what everything was in front of me. Because alcohol, let's be real, it clouds your judgment. You're never gonna think completely clearly or focus while you're on alcohol. So it's very hard to get out the ego that you have to just accept the fact of, wow, this is really tarnishing, fill in the blank. And you might be like some of my friends I see often on my timelines, they want to make a healthier lifestyle change. I mean, if you've been poisoning your body for over 10 years and you're getting into your mid 30s going on 40s, like you don't want your liver to collapse. You might have kids now. You have people dependent on you that need you in life. And alcohol is not gonna increase your chances of living. And the next part of that is making a firm decision on wanting to quit, because anyone, and it has to be a decision that is wholesome and genuine. I believe we can all think that, hey, I'm gonna quit alcohol because I want to be healthier, but to be honest, if that accountability is not that big of a deal for you right now, you won't stay alcohol free. That's what I encountered when I first started. When I first started this journey in 2016, I was like, oh, I'm about to have a son. My newborn wasn't born yet, and I fell back in my vomit like 3 months later, and then I was off and on, off and on. So it wasn't until my son was born that I was like, okay, well, I can manage. And it took several years for me to completely just eliminate it, not going 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And that's because I needed a more in-depth reason and decision to remain alcohol free. I got tired of the fact that and it seemed to happen all the time, even though I was a periodic drinker in about 2018, 2019, 2020. But it seemed like every time I would drink, it was always that argument, or it was always that discussion. And then it would be my wife telling me, oh, you're drunk, you don't know what you're talking about. And I hated that. I hated that. And it started to really, really irk me, because I had my thoughts, and most of my thoughts that I felt was passion that I had already. I'm already a very vocal type of person, but I got tired of my ideas, my thoughts, my dialogue being put in a box and, oh, you're just drinking. That's what really ignited the reason why I wanted to, like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm gonna be completely sober and clear-headed the whole time, so you know exactly what time I'm on each and every time. Reflecting back, that mental shift was absolutely crucial and staying the course, and to this day being over 655 days alcohol free. The next step in this is to prepare for change, and it starts with setting a quit date. Not only does this, and I would strongly recommend you write this down, write it in your phone notes, write it on a pen, your journal. I keep a journal, a few journals around. Write it on a post-it. I'm a writer. You guys might not be into that, but I like seeing everything written down and crossing it off, and just, it helps with accountability. But when you write and commit to a date, you see it. No longer is it just mental, like, oh, I got it in my head. No, write it down so you can see it. With that, you're also going to want to create a supportive environment. This might mean removing all alcohol from your home. Beer that's in the fridge, Trulies that's in the fridge, liquor that's in the cabinets, wine that's sitting in the kitchen. Remove it all from your house, out of sight, out of mind. That's how I look at a lot of things in my life, and you'll be surprised of how beneficial that is on your journey. This can also be informing some of your close friends or people around you that always think you're gonna go out with them to drink, or always known you as a drinker, because I had a whole bunch of friends, all my friends knew me as that. And it's just being real for them, like, hey, I'm trying new things in life right now. I gotta get my health right. You know, I got people looking up to me. I'm not getting any younger, and I wanna slow down on my drinking, or I wanna quit drinking entirely. Can you keep me accountable? It's just like if you're going to a gym, have an accountability partner, but you want to make sure everyone's aware. So if someone's just being an a-hole and just being like, yo, take a drink, peer pressure, like, that's, you don't need them in your circle, especially when you're trying to better yourself and get rid of the most toxic and poisonous drug of all, alcohol, from your life. Avoid all settings where it's going to be some type of temptation for you to keep on drinking. Nobody wants to do that, and you don't want to fall back to your vomit. I know sometimes people get over cocky. They're like, oh, I'm invincible. I did this a few times. You can put me around all the alcohol, whatever. And then, this is why I don't drink, by the way. Okay, whatever, I'll just have one. Because one never is just one, especially for me. I want the whole pack. I elaborated on this in a lot of videos. I want more. Like Miss Rachel says, more. And yeah, you got to know your boundaries and set those boundaries in place. And when you go on this journey, you're going to want to plan some activities or hobbies, and just have a game plan of what you're going to be replacing alcohol with. Of course, we want it to be positive. Of course, you might just indulge in something else like sugar, and you might get bloated and big, or you might go to more comfort foods. I'm speaking from past experiences, because I developed the biggest, like, sweet tooth, and I wasn't even to sweets like that. We're talking Sour Patch candies and Swedish Fish and a whole bunch of junk. But it was better than alcohol. And this is stuff I learned over time. But even having like other hobbies in place, maybe going to the gym, maybe that means building Lego sets, maybe that means creating content or podcasting. It could look for a lot of different ways for a lot of different people. Maybe it's making music, expressing yourself in that avenue. But you're gonna want to have certain things in place so you can just focus on that and just completely neglect the fact that you need a drink. And the last step to quit alcohol is to implement and sustain. That means going with the plan and staying with the plan. Not one foot in, not one foot out. Staying committed. It's all about implementation. I tell my clients all the time, hey, I'm gonna give you a video for this project. It's gonna solve all these problems and give you XXX result. But if you don't implement the marketing plan I gave to you, this was all a waste of time and a waste of money for you. And the same is going to go for your sobriety plan and your journey. You've already set your quit date. You already know why you want to get rid of alcohol. Now it's time to walk the walk, talk the talk. Remind yourself daily on why you're quitting alcohol. Look yourself in the mirror. Talk to yourself and say, hey, I am a better person without alcohol. I am a better person for my wife. I'm a better person for my kids. I'm a better person in my community. I'm a better person for God. Like, all these things, like, have some self-talks with yourself. With that, you can develop some healthy habits. Exercising, walking, jogging, going to the gym. Routines. It could be waking up earlier, maybe reading earlier in the morning. Maybe that means writing in your journal, having a gratitude journal, or writing devotionals, reading the Bible. It can look like so many different things, but the power is like you're gonna have so much more focus, you're gonna be clear, and you're gonna get so much time back. Not only are you gonna get health back, but you're gonna get time, and that time you can use to really improve yourself to be the best version that you were intended to be. And we also give a shout out to the good sleep you about to get. You're gonna be sleeping like a baby. Can you remember that? This is just one piece of the puzzle. At the end of the day, it all falls on you. And shout out to you out there if you're watching this, because obviously you're, one, either curious about quitting alcohol, how hard can it be, what does it entail, or two, you already made the decision. Now you want to go ahead and make a date and leave alcohol completely. Wherever you are at in your journey, I hope this video was of help to you guys. If it was, smash that like button below and write a comment of where you're at on your journey. I love reading them. I love building this community. If you want to see more content like this in the future, hit the red button and ignite your sobriety.